What's up guys, Mitch with Prism Supply here today with our shop's brand new 100th anniversary 2003 XL1200C Sportster. So this pristine example of a Sportster we have, what are we gonna do with it? And we're gonna make it look pretty awesome using Prism parts, stuff like that. The trick is we're gonna use like hand tools, very basic tools, something that you can do in your driveway and make it very approachable, show you how to make a really cool bike, minimal effort, minimal fab skills involved, and I'm gonna go along, give you tips and tricks along the way, show you how easy it can be to make your Sportster a cool little ride. Guys, welcome back. Mitch with Prism Supply, episode 4, Pimp My Sporty. We're working on the rear end today. If you haven't seen the other 3 episodes, we worked on a whole bunch of stuff up front. This week, it's all the back section, tire, shocks, fender, and all the stuff that goes along with it. Let's get started. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is pull the fender off because we have another junk fender and we don't wanna wreck this 100th anniversary paint job. So I'm gonna pull the fender off, make sure the new one fits, give it a little bit of a chop. So to take this one off, I gotta take the seat, a whole bunch of bolts, so it's gonna be a little process. And let's get started. If you're switching out fenders, there are these threaded inserts on the fender. You gotta make sure you wanna save them. Most new fenders or old fenders don't have them, and you can't use the same seat bolt over again. So they're just a little snap ring that comes out and drops out the backside. Just make sure to remember to save those. Damn, I'm already ready for lunch. Yankees. Okay, we're making a decision here. We're gonna pull the wheel off to get to the underside of the fender because it's coming off anyway, might as well do it now. These are the axle adjuster nuts. What they do is keep the tension on the belt or the chain. When you're taking it apart, you wanna move them all the way forward so you have the most slack on your belt to get everything off. Look at that. It's amazing what a dirty rag will do. Not close at all. Cool. Okay, so first fender was off a different bike. This one's off of same year bike. Not black, we're gonna have to paint it still. So I'm gonna mock it up, figure out where I wanna chop it, and then chop it, put the paint on, eat some lunch. And put it back on. We've got the fender on now. I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel and all the other stuff on. But I'm going to put the tail light on and do the stuff on the underside just to make it a little easier to see, for you to see, for me to see, for everybody to see. This is our PS41 fender mounting bracket. It's gonna go right about there. So we're gonna put 2 little marks, drill some holes, put it in with the provided hardware, and then put the PS41 on along with the magic box. You don't really need a magic box because you can hide wires, but I'm gonna show you how to use it. Cool. These are step drill bits. They're kind of pricey. You don't need them, but it does when you're going through thin stuff. Stops you from like going all the way through and pounding your drill into your beautiful paint job. This is our PS41. I'm gonna mount it to the bracket and then I'll run the wires to it just so everything has a nice clean look. This is our single wire magic box. What it does is take your brake switch and makes it so that one wire to actuate your running light and your brake light. I'm gonna show you how to install it. Basically, these two wires go to your brake switch, one wire to power, one wire to your tail light. What I'm doing right now is just tracking down the wires to the brake switch. And I know what color they are. I just gotta find them in this little nest we got going on here. Right now, I'm taking the magic box. And I know this goes to the switch, and I know that goes to the switch, the rear brake switch. So I'm gonna run those together. One of these will go to the rear light, which is here. And one of these will go to accessory power. So I'll clean everything up, trim it up, try to find a way to fit it back underneath here. So now that one has power. Power is going into the unit, and it'll go out to the light, and the orange ones are switch powered. So if you all want a tutorial on how to completely rewire your bike from scratch, you let us know in the comments. Maybe we'll make a video for you. Enough people want it. It's honestly, might be easier sometimes. This here is our Gen 2 LED board. What's cool about it is that it's going to be internally grounded, which means it makes it easier to run our single wire magic box and our hydraulic single wire switch. You don't have to ground the LED board separately than just bolting it to the light. Another cool part about this light is the wires on the back. They pop out so you can replace it with whatever wire you want. All you do is press in on the little hole, it pop right out. And now you have a board that's free to do whatever wiring you want to it. So next step is I'll put our 16 gauge wire into the stop in the middle, and that'll be all the wiring I need for this light. It's easy as just pressing it in until it catches. That easy. Okay, so now we just bolt the LED board to the body, and then we'll be able to give her a test. And after we're done testing it, make sure everything works, I'm gonna clean up these wires again and move on to putting a wheel on. Right now I've got everything loosely wired up, stuff spilling out everywhere. It's not pretty, but we're at the point where I can check and make sure the LED is working, everything's grounded like it should be, and the brake light switch is working. So I'll turn the bike on. We should have running light. And we do. I'll hit the brake and we should have brake light. And we do. So now it's time to clean up all this wiring, put it all back together, and put the wheel on. Got the fender on, that's a big check. We got the tail light wired. Now we're gonna put the shocks on, and then after that work on the wheel and chain drive. First thing, shocks off, belt guard off. Maybe, oh no, swing arm moves. What we're gonna put on are these cool covered shocks. A little bit longer than what was on there, a lot shinier. You don't get much easier to install than this. Pretty much just bolt on, bolt off kind of thing. Pretty new shocks are on. Next step will be to put the chain drive kit on, starting with the front side. Front sprocket, chain, all that stuff. That means we've got to take the exhaust off, take the sprocket cover off, all that work that we did a couple weeks ago, undo it to make it better. First step, take the exhaust off, and then I'll take the sprocket cover off. What's really cool about this exhaust is you gotta take both of them off to get to your sprocket cover. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the point in the day in which we say we need an impact gun. And if you don't have one, make a friend with one, because this needs to come off with an impact gun. This is the front sprocket and the sprocket nut that comes in our chain drive kit. It's pretty simple install. Sprocket only fits on one way. I'm gonna say that, but somebody's gonna find a way to put it on backwards. Yeah, see, don't put it on that way. There we go. Sprocket nut is reverse thread. Make sure you know that. So we're gonna go counterclockwise to tighten. And then the last step to this is to line up one of these holes around the outer edge with the hole in the sprocket, so you can put a lock screw in to hold everything from spinning. Kind of more of a guess and check thing. You kind of give it a little lugs and then check. Two. And I don't see any. I didn't know where the hole is. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. What this does is prevent this nut from spinning independently from your shaft, and you're not losing anything, like your chain or your leg. There you go. Now you put everything, put the wheel on. Put the wheels on next. And then we'll run the chain, get the chain tight, and put everything back together. So in preparation for putting this new 18 on the back of it, we're gonna put the sprocket and the rear rotor on there as well. Now we're gonna do it now because it's gonna make it easier. This is our rear rotor. This is our new chain drive rear sprocket. If you notice, they match. This is the first one we've gotten. This is kind of our prototype. So it's been used on a bike before. So if you get it, it will be brand new chrome, brand new everything. This one's just been used. Another thing to look for when you assemble these is make sure you clock them right. You don't want anything crooked. You want everything to be nice and straight. We're gonna put the brake side on first. And these, if you notice, there's a little bit of slop here. Some years don't have this, some years do. So we have a piece kit to go with it to take up your slop. When you put a new chain on, you want your wheel as far forward as you can get it, and then take the slack up afterwards. So last thing you want to do is cut your chain, get all this and that, and let it be too long. There's a ton of ways you can cut your chain. You can use a chain brake tool. I don't have a ton of luck with those. What I like to do is mark the length that I want to go with. Use a pen that actually works. Holy shit, pens around here. Who uses these pens in a shop environment? Mark the length that you want to get rid of, and then what I'll do is I'll grind down this rivet and then knock it through. This is the chain brake tool that I was telling you. It helps with once you ground it down, but it won't ever knock out the rivet. Or at least I haven't had good luck with it. You can use a punch if you wanted to use a punch. Okay. Now the master link's on the end of that piece I just cut off. Just gonna want to pop that piece off like that. And then you move the cover, just like that. Make sure you don't lose your O-rings. And that'll be your master link set. 4 O-rings, a clip, and a cover. So 2 O-rings. Slide it in from the back side. Okay. 2 more O-rings. And the cover. Squeeze it together. And then you're gonna put your link on it, and you want the round end facing the chain movement direction. So the chain's gonna be going this direction, so you want the round end going towards that way. Just go back on, and you got a chain. Next step is to tension it. What you want in your chain is about 1 inch of play. That right now is a lot more than 1 inch of play, about 3 inches. So I'm gonna keep tightening it down, both sides evenly, until I get about 1 inch of play. Checking, pretty close right there. Also, you're gonna want to ride it for a couple hours. The chain is gonna stretch and then you're going to retension it later. A little trick I have on this type of chain adjuster is I like to measure the threads sticking out on both sides to make sure my chain is adjusted evenly. If we do a quick look right now, they're not. This one's way farther out. So I will loosen this. Push it in. Check the chain. Now I'm gonna have to tighten this side. It's kind of a game of back and forth until you get equal pressure, equal length, the right chain tension. Call it pretty good. And now I'm going to tighten the axle down. I like to keep pressure on the front side of the wheel when I'm tightening the axle because it likes to walk the other direction. And the last step is to put the safety cotter pin in. When you're putting this cover back on, some bikes, I'm not really sure the year, this little boss right here rubs against the master link and you hear a click, click, click every time the chain goes around. This bike, it doesn't do it, but some you might need to grind that down just a little bit. One more day in the books. Back end looks sick. The 18 looks really cool on there. The shocks are juicy. The Fender's fendering. So good, nice, well-rounded back end. The bike's finally done. Check her out. We still think we might do some wiring things, get a good paint job, not just a plain black paint job. Little things here and there. But overall, I'm super stoked with how this came out. If you like it, let us know. All the parts we used are linked below. Go to prismsupply.com, find all that fun stuff. Thanks a lot, guys. Come back for the walk around.